Oh, hey, looks like we're live. How about that? Didn't even notice it come up. Let me just share this out. And we're back. All right. Not sure if we've actually got anybody. Well, looks like we might have a couple here. So let's have a quick chat, and then we'll actually get into some dice rolling and doing some stuff, and see what happens. So let me just get rid of this little bug off the map. Hey, goodbye, Mr. Mosquito. Okay. It's been a while since I've done a live session, and I thought it might be worthwhile to do one. And what we're doing is, well, first of all, welcome to the big board. If you haven't been here before, it'll be a little live stream action. And for those of you that are watching it as a replay later on, I'm not talking to myself. I'm actually, I will be responding to comments as and when they do pop up. So when you join in, please take a second to make a comment and say hi, so I know someone's here. And if you've got questions, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, chat amongst yourselves. So we're going to have a look at Next War Korea, my first playing of this game. But I've played the system a couple of times before using the India-Pakistan system. This is, of course, I couldn't just play the regular scenario, so I had to find the C3I number 27 scenario, the collapse, which models the fall of the Korean regime. Let's skip the Korean names because I don't want to pronounce them. And it models the People's Republic of China, the PRC, coming in and trying to take on the DPRK to the north here, up there. And then, of course, the US and the Allies and the ROC respond and invade through the DMZ and now attempt to capture Pyongyang, which is up to the north there. First dude to capture 2 hexes of Pyongyang, of which there are only 2 hexes of Pyongyang. Game ends, we count up VPs and see who wins. And I would say, based on halfway through turn 2, I would say just based on losses at the moment, it's going to be a clear victory for the Allies if they don't get Pyongyang, just because of the kill tally, the VP tally from knocking out units. That said, it ain't over till it's over, right? So let's have a look where we're at and what's going on. This is actually a 3-player scenario. So you've got the ROC forces and allies, so with the US, Japan will come on shortly, and some Commonwealth Special Forces, and then you've got the DPRK, and then you have the bright red, of course, the communists, the People's Republic of China up the top at the. What's going on, and we'll talk about the play sequence because it's a unique play sequence given that it's a 3-player scenario. So I'm just going to check in on comments here. Hey Max, good to see you. Yeah, heck with those kids. I actually told my kids that they could go and make tacos with the cold leftovers, and that could be their dinner tonight. I've been waiting for 2 hours for them to come home, and they took their time. So here's the sequence of play that we follow. Weather phase, initiative, the ED phase, and that is not dysfunction, that's electronic detection. A little joke there. First special operations phase, the air naval phase, which is when we do all the sorties, and then we have another spec ops phase, then we have this first strike phase. And I'll tell you what all these mean as we kind of get to them. I'll go through them. Then you check supply. Then you do the initiative player goes through a full move combat elite reaction. So if the enemy has elite units with an effectiveness rating of 6, 7, or 8, they get to move, and then they also get to fight. Then there's an exploit phase, so move and fight, and a reaction movement for the non-initiative player. They get to move and fight. And you go through basically and do it all again. And then where it start to get a little bit different is then you get the DPRK, because they're probably never going to be either the elite or the initiative or non-initiative player. They're kind of always the 3rd player. And then you have the reorg phase where you do also clearing operations and stuff like that. So it's a big, long, and this is a detailed example, detailed sequence of play. It's pretty straightforward, but you got to have it handy because there are a lot of steps, and it's a somewhat, I won't say it's a unique sequence of play. It reminds me a lot of, I must have a window open somewhere. I have just 50 bugs just arrived. These were not here 5 minutes ago. Check that bad boy out. Oh, you can't see them. Can you see them? Look at them all. Little mosquitoes too. Annoying. All right, let's see. Like I said, it's a detailed sequence of play, and it reminds me a lot of Frank Chadwick's Third World War, and it reminds me a lot of the sequence of play there, and the effectiveness ratings of units, and the way combat is resolved with differentials on effectiveness ratings for units. It's going to give you combat mods, so that builds in unit elan, unit capabilities. Different sized forces can fight against smaller or larger forces in there, which is pretty cool. But what this game does is bring the modern war to that Third World War style system. I won't say it is that system, it's that style of system, and a similar sequence of play where there's multiple iterations of move, exploit, and then move. Your opponent does something and then you move again. So there's quite a bit of that going on. Hey guys. Hey Braxton. Right now we are combat one at a time, but I like to, because I'm playing by myself, I like to just lay them all out, work out all the odds, and then resolve them, and we kind of go through it from there. I know whether or not there's air support available, and I know whether or not headquarters are going to lend their capabilities to a given attack or not, and so we just kind of roll through the exercise that way. So this is not a strict following of the rules. So before anyone, there's a couple of guys who have been jumping on videos lately and telling me where I'm playing things wrong, and I really appreciate it. A lot. Right. You could always go play the game yourself too, I suppose. But, feel free to watch my games and criticize. Now, let's roll through this, and I'm going to work out this one combat here and explain to you why it's a 5-to-1, and then I'll give you a good example of how combat works. So, combat factor, defense factor, and movement rate. The number 5 here is. I think you can probably see that. Let's see. The combat, that 5 there is the effectiveness rating, and the 2 is the number of steps that are in that unit. Come on, stop refocusing. Underneath here, and I've just realized something. These guys, now I don't know if they technically have this clearing operation counter put on them now or later. So I'm going to set this to one side for a minute because I'm not sure that it goes on straight away, and that's something I will probably need to look up. But for the sake of the exercise, since I've already calculated this out, this ends up being, it's a 8 factors plus these guys. So there's a 4, 8, 12, 13 factors attacking 6. When you're out of supply, your defense is not halved, but your movement and your combat factor is. And when you've taken a strike, you're going to lose an effectiveness rating, and you're also going to lose 1 for this. So we're going to take 2 off of this 5, and it's going to become a 3. So just remember the 3. And I'm using the reality mod on this set of rules as well, which drops down the effectiveness rating yet again. So it looks like I might actually have these odds wrong here. I might have shortchanged myself. So that's 2. So no, that's going to be right. So then there's so that would be down another 2, which means these guys would have ostensibly have a effectiveness rating of 1, which really kind of sucks, right? So they've got a 1. These guys have a 5. I can pick whichever one I want and declare that to be the lead unit. So it's, for instance, we'll just say it's this guy. He's going to declare that he's a 5. These guys are 1, so they're going to get 4 odd shifts. I may have done it wrong. 4 odd shifts. Because if we look at the columns, it's a straight for every odd shift, every differential, you get an odd shift up to a maximum of 4, and consequently going down by 3, maximum of 3. 4, 8, 12. That's 2-to-1 plus 4, so this should be 6-to-1 here. and I probably dropped it 1 for some reason. Why did I do that? Don't know. So we'll just fix that. That's the wrong end of the pen. We'll make that a 6-1 there. That's a scrappy 6-1. And there's also going to be a +1 added to the die roll because it's in a town. And that, look at that bug. Oh, they're coming into land now. Go on. Oh, wow, they're everywhere. So it's going to be 6-1 +1, primarily because it's a town, and towns give you, it's a terrain feature, gives you a DRM. I don't think we have any other modifiers. There's a whole swag of modifiers, which at first are fairly daunting. When you look at them, you go, oh my gosh, I've got to do all these DRMs. It's going to be complicated. If you use headquarters, they'll add combat factors. If you use air, they're going to provide you a DRM. Otherwise, it's really a factor or a part. Oh, I know why. I know why it says 5-1. Because these guys were attacking this way. So it is 5-1. It's going to be a combination of simple things that you will look at the board and go, oh, I have a light infantry unit there, I'm going to get a modifier. I'm in a town, I'm going to get a modifier. I'm in a city, I'm going to get 2 shifts to left. So it's very straightforward. So let's roll the die. Let's just skip the talking and do the rolling. So here we go. Oh, well, that's a pretty awesome freaking roll. So I rolled a 0, and I said it was 5-1 in the rough. It's called 5-1 in the rough. I'm going to drop that down to a 0. Yeah, this is, oh, that's a pretty shitty. Oh, it goes up 1. So here's where, kind of like the next war, where sometimes really good results are going to cost you a step loss, and then you go up 1, and it's not as bad. So here's the 5-1 column. Here, just trust me, it's got a simple terrain on the left, and then you come across to the 5-1 column, and that's the rough there. We go down to 0. I'm just going to move my finger. You can see the 0, and I've got to go up 1, and that's because of this township, and that's going to make it a 2 result for the enemy. Otherwise, it would have been 1 loss for me, and these guys would take 3 losses and retreat. Well, they've only got 2 steps to give, 1, 2, and he's dead. That's going to count for victory points, so I'm keeping them all in a pile to one side so we can keep track of them. And I gotcha. There, gotcha. Look at that guy. Death. So that is dead and gone. That was a lucky roll there. Now we take that out, supply marker and the strike marker off. And we can advance. And I can advance 1 hex into the hex, but because they're mechanized, get off my finger. I could actually advance another hex if I wish to, but I probably, if I do, I will probably actually go to here. So I've got enough. No, I can't go to the hex. There's a maximum of 4 stacking points per hex. So I can't help this clearing operation that will happen at the end of the turn out. So I will sit tight there. No point in getting adjacent to this guy at this point. Okay, so that was that attack. So the next attack is 7-1, and this time it's a -1. I guess I can roll the die. Well, it doesn't matter. Roll the die here. I like it bouncing around. Another good roll. So it's a 1. 1 minus 1 is a 0, and that's on the 7-1 table in rough again. 7-1 in the rough. Where is it? That's a 1-3 result. So these guys are going to die. It's just the remnants of a brigade. They die. I do have to take a step loss though, and I've got to take that off the unit I nominated for my. You can't. Oops. I just smashed some reinforcements off the map. This is where we're doing the combat. I'll check in on questions in just a sec, guys. This is the unit we used for our effectiveness rating. So we'll leave him there. Everyone else will advance. And here I get to make another hex advance. So I'm going to... Man, I can't move into there either because that would be 5 stacking points. So he's going to stay... I'd like to get him on this road. I guess I can move here. I can ignore zones of control for the time being. So we'll do that. Even though this potentially sets us up to be in a little bit of trouble if these guys try to attack, That's probably one of the rare times they could potentially make an attack. They'd get a 8-1 attack on that guy, minus the factors, bits and pieces. But I'm not too worried about it. So I'm going to let that advance stand. And here's why: because the sooner I can shift as much force this way in this second turn, the better. Because I need to get to Pyongyang before the Chinese crank their way through this kind of minefield of crappy DPRK units that are sitting in woods and in rough and behind rivers. And I've got one division coming in by road. I've got 2 airborne divisions ready to land, but I have not had the ability to conduct any airborne operations yet, because I wasn't confident that it would be the right time to use those airborne, and it is now pretty certain that it is the right time. Unfortunately, I'd lost the initiative for the PRC in the turn at the end of the last turn because of the VP tally. There's a VP tally of 18 that needs to be reached for the initiative to change hands or potentially change hands, and so the U.S. garnered 20 points, 20 VPs in the turn, and that allowed them to capture the initiative from the Chinese. So the Chinese are now on the back foot a little bit. Okay, question time. What do we got here? It's Mitchell Land! Oh! Okay. As soon as I enter the hex, well, thanks, Mitch. So that would, now he tells me, now he's here. Let's see. Okay, let me see what that would have done to that attack. That would have brought it down 1 odds level. It was a 6-1 attack, I said. No, I said it was a 5-1 attack with a +1. That would have made it a 1R. Still would have died, so we got the same result. So that's the good thing about your CRT. There you go, mate. Well done. All right, we lost that one right there. As what we killed that guy there. So now let's knock this 7-1 attack out here and see what happens. Now I feel performance pressure because Mitchell's here. So I've got 7-1 here. We took into account the 2 column shift to the left for the airfield or the air base or whatever it's called. So we're going to roll a die. I'm going to roll a red die this time and drop it on the floor. Roll the black die. The black die rolls a 7 this time. Not a lot of bad shit can happen to you on the 7-1 table, and that is going to be what? Does that count as clear or urban? Let's see. Air bases. Actually, I think that counts for city. We use the urban table. Mitch? I remember this being a problem once before where cities and air bases and stuff like that were not on. Yeah, here it is. Urban is the same as cities. It's implied. Units defending in this terrain or in cities or forts. Oh, okay. May voluntarily ignore retreat results. Okay, what did I say I rolled? A 7. We got a +1 on that as well, so it's going to make it an 8. Oh yeah, totally. Load it up, Braxton. I'm glad you're there helping out, man. So I said 7-1. I'm calling this urban terrain, just cause. Make it harder on the allies, and I roll the 7 + 1 is 8. That's a 1-1 result. Oh, that guy dies. Look at that. Now, looks like I would have to do a clearing operation on this guy as well. So I'm going to put 3 steps into here. Grab the magic cup and pull out a clearing chit. Pop that bad boy on there. And that other unit is not going to advance into that hex. And he will stay pat where he is. Yeah, the Allies have had well, let's not get into the details of what happened and why, but using the reality mod, Mitch, makes a huge difference. Plus, you've got the air power advantage, and so focusing on attacking through here and clearing out this, we got some amazing rolls here with headquarter strikes, and then the impact of the attacks with some air support, and it was all over Red Rover fairly quickly in the center. Up in this part of the map where we're headed to next to do the next combat, we can see. Hey Patrick, we can see that from here to here, the DPRK, I believe, are out of supply because they have no way to trace back on a road or any other means to an urban hex, and so therefore they're all out of supply. And in fact, some units set up out of supply, which is interesting. What's he saying now? Yeah, okay. I'm on a 20-second delay, Mitch, so I'm not seeing your comments, or maybe you're seeing stuff after I've already said it. Where was this combat? So now I've got this guy here. This is a 7-1 with a +1 into this fortified DMZ zone. That's also going to give us some other benefits in terms of retreats and whatnot. We're going to roll the dice for that guy. I roll the regular roll 5 right in the middle. 5, what did I say it was? 7-1 +1, so that becomes a 6. 7-1 in, what terrain am I doing there? Rough. That's right on the max odds, so that's going to be a 6. It's a 1R. So he doesn't have to retreat. He does take the step loss. He's a reduced unit. More VPs for the allies. Okay. Oh, so I would use flat terrain there, huh? Okay, well, I kind of got the impression that installations implied and city hexes implied that it would be urban, but that's cool. We will we won the hex, so we got the result we wanted. So it's all good in the hood. All right, now the last risky attack we have is this one down the end here. It's a 5-1. 5-1 in rough woods is probably going to get me. Where's my little tool? No, it's going to get me no adjustment. Straight up 5-1. We roll a 6 this time. 5-1 rough woods. 6. 1R. I think that's a reduced unit. No, it's not. But it is a brigade, so he retreats 1 hex. Oh, well, we get a +1 for the town, so that makes it a 7. Same. I want to say 5-1. That's a 1-2. Okay, so they take 2 losses, so they're dead. But we have to take a step loss, and these guys both have the same ER, so we'll get off my map. We will do that. Wipe that off. Get rid of the strike marker. Okay. So that's that. That's combat. That's basically the bulk of the combat for this particular phase. And let me sit down. So I've got bugs landing all over the place here. It's kind of creepy. That was, what did I say it was? What phase were we in? Into the allied move. So that was the combat segment. So now it's the reaction movement segment in the basic movement and combat phase. I'm going to pick this up and move it over to here so we can see what the Chinese do. Chinese are in a bit of a pickle over here, quite frankly. I've not done them a lot of favors by the end of the map over here. That's the HQ there. And they've had to meander their way this way because all these entrance hexes were blocked by the DPRK. So I didn't think you could attack onto the map So we kind of came in over there for what it's worth, and so that's kind of where we're at with that. So reaction move. Let's see. Non-initiative player gets to move their full movement allowance, and we're going to get to combat as well. I can do air, mobile, sea movement, and transport. Sea transport as well. I do have a naval, a marine unit that's isolated down here below the screen. We're going to have to deal with that later on. And Mitch, I'm still working out the naval rule thing. I haven't really put a lot of effort into working out how to do that. We're not at war with each other yet. The PRC and the Allies are not fighting each other at the moment. So I think that's kind of precluding any cruise missile strikes at SAG groups or CV battle groups and things like that. So anyway, focusing right in here, where we now need to do something of note or noteworthy with these units. Now, here's an interdiction strike marker, and there's another one up here that was generated by Special Forces that is trying to bracket and box in and cost the. I was trying to impact the what's the word for it? Impact the supply route back to this headquarters. The Chinese countered that by generating an MSU. So this guy's out of supply because he's got to count back this way. So he's got half movement. This dude's got full movement, and this dude has full movement based on what we know. All right, what do we got here? Hey Kyle, how you doing there? I'm just looking here. Blah, 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 blah. Looks like you guys are having just a fine old time. I'll let you guys keep chatting while I work out what I'm going to do with these guys, since I kind of decided to play this on the spot. Let's see. Well, I think we can make an attack into here for sure. And I could probably take a risk on attacking into this hex here as well. Or we could do a one. No, that's not going to work either. All right, I think we'll attack here. So what have I got? 13. Shit, that's going to be a 1-to-1 attack. 1-to-1 with 4 shifts in the flat woods. 1-to-1 with 4 shifts. Let's see what that would be. Are they overstacked there? No. 1-to-1 with 4 shifts in the flat woods. What does that do for me? Flat woods. No defensive bonuses. Flat woods. 1-to-1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts me up on the equivalent on a 4-to-1 column. 2 columns from the top odds shifts. I could use a chopper for DRM. He's going to have to go through air defensive fire. We'll do that in a second. So we could do that. We can move this guy down to here. So let's mark these. So this guy will do an attack here. I think we might as well go for it. Might as well have these 2 attack into here. I might as well do this one into here. We got to get in before the Americans end the game and collect the VPs is the way I think this scenario works. I'm in just a shit pickle up here with this dude. He's out of supply. I guess I can move him 1 hex to here, using all the movement points to move 1 hex. Yeah, that's a good attack there. I think now, okay, let's do the, okay, so I'm going to get a little out of sequence here because I want to think about what to do with the Airborne. I've got 2 divisions of Airborne that need to, I think they need to land here and totally just try and hammer that hex. Hammer those, sorry, you can't see. Land the Airborne here somewhere and try and get into here with these 2 divisions. That means I've got to double check air mobile points and shit like that because I don't know that I have enough to do it all in one shot. So let's think about that for a second, knowing that we might do that, but let's resolve these 2 combats because action is fun. So let's do action things. Let's do ADF. Let's do the Air Defense Force of the DPRK, which is being muted by Mitchell Land's harsh scenario rule writing. Special scenario rules. We're using local air detection only, whereas normally, here's what would be cool, right? Normally, if we go over to the air defense tracks here, we would normally have a detection rating and a SAM rating and an AA rating, and we would roll to detect on the detection table, advanced detection table, and you would have early detection or regular detection or no detection based on this rating. So a 7 rating is pretty good. You've got basically 7 chances in 10, sorry, 8 chances in 10 of detecting. That's what the South Koreans have. And then you have the SAM, so that if you detected, you would have the SAM. So you get intercept if you got early detection. Then you'd have SAM combat. So you go over to the SAM table and you look at the level and you go, oh, I'm level whatever, 6. You roll the dice and that's going to give you a result, depending on whether it's air or choppers or transports. And then you do the same thing for the AA. Then the AA gets the chance to shoot as well. And the AA is over here somewhere. And they only go from 1 to 3, so you use that. However, because we're wimpy, malnourished, and very patriotic but somewhat technologically useless DPRK forces, we are only having local air defense. So I'm going to roll on the local table, then I need to roll a 0, 1, or a 2 to spot these dudes. And I roll a 5. So there is no detection, which from what I understand means that shit just rolls in there and we do not do AA. So that is that. So now we can conduct this attack. And I said that was going to be a 4 to 1, didn't I? I think it is. It's a 4 to 1, and now it's a 4 to 1 with a +1. If the headquarters was in range, we could add its combat factors to it, and it really wouldn't do very much, but we could add them. And I think that's, what did I say that was? 10, 13. So it's 1 to 1, and we've got an odd number of units, a remainder. So we get a +1 for that, so it's +2. It's actually minus. It's a DRM to our benefit, so it's actually a -2, not a +2. So it's going to be a -2 to the die roll on a 4 to 1. And I roll a 6. 4 to 1 on a 6. 4 to 1 on a 6. Drop 2. It's a 1 and a retreat. So we'll see, these are all 1-steppers. Oh no, they're 2-steppers. Well, we'll keep all these guys. And let me get rid of this. Where's my... Get that out of the way. And let's retreat 1 hex towards Pyongyang. And I guess they're all going to have to go this way. And these guys will advance. Did I say it was 6? I said 4 to 1, right? Just bear with me here. Flat words. 4 to 1. And I rolled a 6 -2. I went the wrong way. That's a 1. Just a one loss, no retreat. I went the wrong way. Is that right? Yeah, it's a 4. It becomes a 4, so that's correct. Okay. All right. Let me get this dude now. We're going to do this attack here. 6 factors attacking 2 factors. That's a 3 to 1. We're going to make adjustments for the effectiveness rating, which is down to a 2. So that is going to be, I said 3 to 1 plus 3 odds moves because it's a 5 here. So that makes it 6 to 1. No pluses or minuses. It's just a raw 6-1. I roll a 3. DPRK are getting their asses kicked from one end of the field to the other. I said 6-1, right? That's max odds on a 3, 2 steps. That dude is going to die. It's a 1-stepper. No, it's a 2-stepper. How about that? These are training formations. They're super pathetic. Not exactly the best units. Now, he has to stop there. He can't go any further. And now we have this attack. Halved on the offense, 6. Plus 12 is 18. Facing off on 10. But they're crossing the river. That's not going to be good. You know where I should have used that chopper? It's there. Halved across the river, right, Sharp? Is that right? Yeah, it is. So, 6 and 3 is 9 to 10. That's a 1 to 2 attack if we do it. 1 to 2 attack. There are 4 rated, so it's going to make it 1 to 1 to. Oh, it's a 1 to 5, 1.5 to 1. Oh, fuck it. Let's just do it. Let's roll the dice. Roll the 1. Come on, baby. Roll the 7. All right, that's not good. That's really not good. Is there anything I can add to that? Can I? Oh, I have a chopper. Okay, that's going to make it a 6. Let's do the ADH. Let's do the ADF for it. Missed. Roll the 3 for that. So that becomes a. Oh, that's even worse. 7. A 7. It's the same. 6. It becomes a 6. It means I lose 1 no matter what. All right. Well, I'll lose 1 off the out of supply, dude. Well, I guess this is. It doesn't matter. We'll lose a step off this guy. And that goes back. And that goes back. And they've been used once each. So we rotate them 1. Now, do we want to do this? Let me move this camera. Do we want to try and land here? Hey, Mr. Itinerant, how are we doing there? Let's see. It is always for Helos local? Well, how about that? Well, I just thought I'd give everyone a little look into that anyway. So look, good on me for not knowing the rules as well as I thought I did, which is always the case. So let's see. Do I want to try and make this air mobile points? These guys actually have inherent transport, don't they? Or is that a different colored box? No, it's a yellow box. They don't have inherent transport. Maybe I need a ruling here. These airborne, I can power drop them, but can't I just chopper them? Oh, they do have the right movement rates. So I could just fly these freaking guys in, and they've just got to go through ADF. Just got to go through ADF. Mitch, stop being nice to me. Otherwise, I'll cry. I want to hug you next time I see you. So here's what we're going to do, because I can. So these units, airborne, have multiple ways of getting around. We can power drop them, which is kind of risky. It involves a couple of. Let me tell you exactly how many die rolls it involves. There's a chart here, as always. Power dropping. Yeah, so I would have to power drop, and it would be in the flat, with a +1 for the enemy zone of control. There is not one, okay. Do I want to do that? I'm just not sure. When I could just do the ADF, I could just fly these guys in because they have inherent helicopters, so we can just fly them in. I can come in, I don't know, here and avoid going over anybody and land right here, and each one of them can just discreetly roll for their ADF, their local ADF. I can even just put 3 in 1x here, and that way I don't have to worry about rolls. And I can't move them once they land. I think I might be able to move into a city or urban hex, though. I think I can move 1 hex. Now that is where I'll take, save me looking up the rules while we're playing, I'll take a comment. Oh, the air mobile points, that's right, the air mobile points are the inhibiting factor there, aren't they? Yeah, I've only got 4, you are correct. That's what, I can't just fly everybody around whenever I want to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be those 4 guys. So let's look at this. Okay, let's do this. Let's air mobile these knuckleheads to here, which I believe we can do, pretty straightforward. And let's roll for ADF for that. So we're going to roll for this dude. And I'm going to roll a 4. So he's good to go. And then this guy. Oh, I bet you I've got to do it per unit probably. Let's do it per unit. 3 is it no good. 1. Okay, we got 1 we're going to have to do. That'll be the third one down. And hey, see ya, Arthur. Third one down. And 3. So he misses as well. So one of them's going to suffer AAA. And we're going to open up the chart and roll on the AAA local. And it's a 2. A 2. What is that going to do? Treaters aborts. Okay, so the second guy aborts. He goes back. These guys come through. And did I roll for that guy? I don't think I did. Let's roll for that guy. He gets spotted as well. And he gets fired on. I can't roll the die in the bucket. Off it goes onto the floor. Cock die. A 7. No effect. Alright, so we took 1 hit there. Now we're going to airborne drop these bros. Now, hey Mitch, I can just move these into this. I can move 1 hex, can I, into a city? Is that correct? Yeah, Brad. It's got rangers and shit like that. It's very cool. I'll show you how special ops works in a second. It's pretty epic. So I think I can move into there, but we're going to wait and see if I get a response from Mitchell. Now I'm going to airborne drop into this flat open hex here. All these guys, and I've got a roll for each individual. I'm going to go to the chart. I'm in the open. Basically, if I roll a 9, that's all. Really? Okay. We're lucky. Let's do it. Okay. Top to bottom. 9. So much for that luck. So there's a step loss. And that's a 1 S1 and place a strike marker. Shit. All right. So much for me being lucky. Next guy, a 1. Next guy, a 5. How many are there? 4? Next guy, a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the HQ, so everybody's in. And that dude lost a step. One-on-one consulting like this is just awesome. No step loss, just a strike. Well, it says, well, come on, dude. Standard advanced game. See? Read the rules. Charts are clear as mud. I got it. Okay. Mitch still haven't answered my question about whether I can move 1 hex into this urban Pyongyang city hex or not. And I'm assuming that these 2 big urban hexes are the ones that have to be captured to end the game. Okay. Let me find the dice I've been dropping. I tell you, when you don't drink and you play war games, it's just not as much fun. I'm more accurate with my die rolling, I can tell you that much. Oh, look at you read up. You said it somewhere here, did you? Dice noob. You can always advance after landing the hex requiring clean mark. Sweet. Okay, so I could have landed here, but we wouldn't want to do that. That's in the zone. Shut up. Shut up, dog. Okay, all these dudes are going to go into here. And we're going to put a clearing marker on it. And that's probably going to have to be the end of the session for the time being, because I hear a horn honking. And I'm going to need to wrap it up and help some kids get some food. So I will probably actually jump back online a little bit later on tonight if I get a chance, and we'll have a look at special operations. We'll have a look at the air war, which is just boatloads of fun. Right now you can see it's fairly meager pickings. Got some guys in the air supremacy. We had a lot of missions flown, and the PRC have taken a bit of a smackdown. They've had a number of aborts and only one kill so far. So it's been, yeah, I need to go take care of this dog. It's been a relatively bloodless air war, but a very bloody ground war. So look forward to talking to all you guys soon. And I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm going to shoot this dog later.